Okay, bonus tutorial. Although this is not going to be a bonus tutorial using one of the gaff cards. This is going to be a bonus tutorial using the mechanics of the previous trick and the mechanics of the alternate way to do the reveal on the prediction trick. And to do this kind of alternate trick, I'm going to use the Bicycle Monster deck again. And the reason why is because of this. That is the King of Spades in the Bicycle Monster deck. However, the deck has two gaff cards. The gaff cards are duplicate King of Spades, but they're not quite exact duplicates. They are the transformation of the werewolf. So, let's see. We want top, middle, bottom. Place these on the top. And the trick that we're going to do is forcing those three cards on someone else. So, the reason I'm doing this with this deck is, quite honestly, one of the guests we were supposed to have at RavenCon, who is a writer, was unable to make it. And he is a writer of a fairly ongoing werewolf series at this point. So, I told him I was going to teach him how to use something that I was giving him. And since I had to end up sending him the cards an alternate way, he's probably going to be a little bit confused as to why he thought why I thought he needed to be taught how to use cards. Well, this is what I was actually going to show him, but I'm showing it to you as well because you can come up with alternate versions of what I'm about to do. What I'm about to do is going to be very specific to him and his book series. You could come up with something different numbers of cards, different rationale for the what the numbers are going to be. Let me do this first and then I'll explain. All right, so say you are a writer and you write werewolf fiction and you're trying to sell your book and you happen to have a deck of the monster cards with you, and maybe you have your significant other at your table with you at the moment who's probably a little better with things like card readings and oracle and things like that. You got someone who's a little iffy on, well, maybe I'm going to buy this book. I don't know, whatever. Hey, tell you what, why don't we see what fate says? Why don't we see what the cards have to say? Let's do a quick little card reading with just 3 cards. That's all we need. I'm going to ask you to help me choose 3 cards for you at random. How we're going to do it is I'm going to riffle the deck. When I'm riffling the deck, you say stop. I will cut the deck. You will take that card, put it face down. We will do that 3 times, all right? So, stop right there. You sure? All right. 1. There. All right. 2. There. You sure? 3. All right. So, and yes, I think I snagged my finger just now and it may have shown, but what the heck, it happened, so I'm continuing the tutorial. One of the things you will occasionally learn is it may or may not be visible. I don't know if it's going to be until I go back and see it. Sometimes you will snag something and you will think, oh God, that was so visible, and nobody else will notice it. Sometimes you'll snag it and think, damn, I just snagged my finger, it's visible. And yeah, it is. Carry on. People will say whether or not it was visible or not. Don't stop the trick. Because like I said, sometimes you're more self-conscious about it and you think it was way more visible than it actually was. So, okay, the three cards are down. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a reading. We're going to see what the 3 cards have to say to you. So let's take a look at the first card. The first card, well, that's definitely a man in anguish or pain. That's not telling us a lot yet. Let's go ahead with the second card. Oh, wait a second. Okay, you've got, well, he's apparently turning into something. Let's see the third. Oh, I see what's going on. The cards are telling me, I think that you need more werewolf in your life. Now, that's just a silly little thing, and it was something I was planning and just joking around with a friend who couldn't make it. But here's the deal. 757 Williamsburg. All right. 7. Oh, that's good. That worked out well. 757. Let's say you're talking to someone, friend of yours, family, whatever. They live down the road. You're in 804. They're in Williamsburg. You know what their area code is. Put 757 at the top. And it's like, hey, tell you what, come here a second. Da, 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 da. Come up with a spiel. Pop the cards. 1, 2, 3. Come up with a reason why it's like, oh, it's the cards, whatever. What's your area code? 757. Well, interestingly, you picked 757. Or something that you can set, something that you know. Something you know about the person that will match up, that you can do with the cards. I have a history buff friend who comes to conventions from time to time. Run into him ever so often. He likes historical fiction. So I've stacked those with a 6, a 6, and a 10, 10 on the bottom. You do the card cut, do the force, and it's like, oh, hey, so tell me again, when was that one battle you liked so much, the Battle of Hastings? I think you said it was 1066, right? You get the idea. This isn't like a ooh, wow, ooh trick unless you make it that way. And since I'm not actually dealing with other people, I'm talking to a camera, I can't quite play off of you the same way. But if you know who you're going to be dealing with, and you're not restricted to 3 cards, it could be 2, it could be 4, it could be 5, whatever you need to make a specific number, make a specific link to something with them. It's like I said, this is more or less just a bonus tutorial, but it's something you can use, that top card force trick, where just riffle, they've chosen the card at random from somewhere in the center. It's the top card. You forced it onto them. You can set it to be anything you want. Or you can do a simple trick. The highest card, for those of you who don't know, the highest card in a deck of cards is the Ace of Spades, right? So if you're doing the classic, well, I'm going to choose a card, you choose a card, who's got the high card? This is the best card you can get. Even if they get an ace, oh, I've got the Ace of Hearts. You get the Ace of Spades. Technically, that's not a tie. You have the highest card in the deck, the Ace of Spades. You win. Here's a nice little thing where you don't have to worry about repeating that trick 4 or 5 times in a row. I've done this with a few people. It's like, hey, let's test your luck, and I'll give you 5 chances to my 1, all right? We're going to test your luck. I'm going to riffle the deck. You say stop, I will stop. You take that card, all right? So, stop. And let's pretend we've done this 5 times just to speed things along. So, you do this trick 5 times, but when I did that just now, I didn't take the ace of spades. You're legitimately going 5 times to that spot. Now, when you do it, come off with the same flair so it doesn't look like you're doing the last one differently, and actually cut the deck. Do not force the card. Go to this spot, give them the 5 cards, and tell them, okay, now we're going to get my card, but you have to pick it because we're testing your luck, not mine. This is when riffle, cut. This is when you force the ace. So it's like, okay, we're testing your luck. You got 5 opportunities against my 1. Let's see what kind of luck you got going here. And of course, they have to choose this card, not you. Why? Because we're testing their luck, not your luck. If you pick your card, that's testing your luck. So, all right, go ahead. Let's see. Oh, you got a king of spades. That's a pretty high card. Oh, and you got an ace of hearts. So yeah, that looks pretty impressive. There's only one card I think I can get that would beat that, and that's the ace of spades. And oh, yep, ace of spades. It's like I said, whatever you want to make the trick, whatever you want to do with that particular move, that's what you can do with it. Have fun with it. Get imaginative. Create something. The previous tutorials and a number of the tutorials that are going to follow, I'm teaching you very specific tricks. I will occasionally show you some variations on the theme, but I'm teaching you very specific tricks. And if all you do is you take my very specific tricks and start repeating them, then all you're going to have is somebody else's tricks. If you take the mechanics of some of the tricks that you're learning and sit down with them, kind of like that, and just come up with something silly to joke around with a friend, or come up with a trick that's completely yours. Like I said, predict the cards will predict a number, and what's your area code? 757. Oh yeah, okay, 757. Whatever it is that you want to do, but don't lock yourself in. Especially starting out, but especially starting out, don't lock yourself into, well, I learned this trick. This is how I learned this trick. This is how I'm going to do this trick. And this is what I'm always going to do. If you can take the mechanics of a trick, or even just part of a trick, and start figuring stuff out and playing with it and adding something that's reflective of your personality or the kind of things that you like, you might not be inventing a new trick. It might be a trick that's already out there, but it's going to look and feel a little different. It's going to look and feel a little bit more you, and it will kind of add to the repertoire of tricks that you're doing. And it will not only add to how many you're doing, but it's going to add something a little more fresh than if you're just learning tricks from me and learning tricks from other people and doing those exact tricks. And honestly, starting out being a beginner is probably a good time to start figuring out how to play with the mechanics and kind of create something that's yours, on top of practicing the fundamentals of what you're learning. Because the sooner you start trying to be creative with it, the more you're going to be able to be creative with it, and the more you're going to enjoy it. The more you're going to be able to personalize it, the more you're going to make it something that's yours, and that people are going to not just remember, oh, he did the card trick that 100 other people do that I've seen over the last 10 years. It's going to be, he has this really cool card trick, and it's XYZ. So start doing that. Learn some of the tricks that I'm teaching you. Pay attention to the mechanics of it, and of the certain tricks when I'm going through them, and take some of that when and where you can. And sometimes just sit down and think about, okay, if I wanted to do a trick for this group of people, or I wanted to to take something and do this with this concept. Can I do something with like the bit with forcing the card here? Can I do something with a setup the way we did it here and just apply that to this? The answer is yes, because that's how we've gotten so many card tricks. But yeah, have fun with it. Play around with it. Find something that's yours. Find something that people will remember as yours. And add that in and go out and mess with people's minds. But more importantly than that, particularly if you're creating something that's yours, go out and mess with people's minds and enjoy it. Especially if they get a kick out of it and it's something that you've put some of your creativity in. So until next time, have a blast.